when we need cake. So just indicate when I can.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Suffolk welcome to this meeting of the Town Council. Today is the 16th of February. Just before we start, we have a very large agenda, and there's probably going to be quite a lot of conversation, discussion, and people wanting to say things. Please don't speak across anybody else. Please don't be chatting to anybody else when somebody is speaking. Show respect to each other, and we'll get on well, and we'll get through the business as best we can in the time allowed. You'll notice that the microphones are not working, so we just need to ask you to speak up when you're speaking. And as I've just said, please don't talk amongst yourselves or make other conversation when somebody is speaking as a courtesy before them. Okay, before we start, can we start please with prayers?
Lord, we linger between the end of Epiphany and the beginning of Lent as we focus upon the Transfiguration and also about your coming into the world and the horror of your undoing as you fulfill your ministry on earth. It brings us to think about the balance we all have to deal with, life's major ups and downs, and achievements and disappointments. And yet we know that just as Jesus appeared in dazzling light at the Transfiguration, we too can ask Jesus to transfigure our lives by giving us both clarity and light on all of our decisions and actions. Can we ask a blessing on all that comes before us tonight, and so into our own sphere of responsibility and accountability? Make us conscious of all the things we do and also fail to do. We also bring into your loving light our town crier, Gary Hale, who is unwell and who is facing challenges of his own. We pray for him and for his family. In your name, our Saviour Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. So the next items now are questions from the public. We have no written questions from the town clerk. Is there anybody who wishes to speak? Okay, just your hand up first.
Okay, I'd like to ask the council here today to fully support Evesham Market. Chloe and David have been running the market for some years now, and I know that it's been on the table for discussion about the contract and about changes that could potentially come in. I'd love to see the market extended into Market Square with special events. So I really hope that today you all see the value and fully support Chloe in this endeavour of taking on the market. And as a community, that's what we need. It supports the local economy, and it's what Evesham is. It's a market town. So that's one of the things I wanted to say. There's something else as well now, two other things. So the other area was, I've been speaking to pubs and the eating out economy locally. They're struggling, guys. You are our councillors. You represent this town. I know you have important matters to deal with, and it's not all flowers and love and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But if you can do your bit, support these businesses. Some of you in this room are business owners, so you should appreciate the importance of talking to these landlords, talking to them. This is a really difficult, challenging time. I'm going into them, they're not having any night time, you know, in the week. It's a real struggle. So I'm asking you all to really consider, to be mindful when you're posting online, when you're talking about local businesses, to do this positively. If you've got something negative to say about a business, go in and talk to them. Do not do it online. That's not helpful, and it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything for those businesses. So that's the two things I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. So, would you like to say who you are and where you live, please?
Yeah,
How do you address your ward?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to address the Chamber, please. My name's Andy Miller. I live just at the bottom of Green Hill, let's call it that. I'd like to address the Chamber with regards to St Mary's Road's allotments as a potential site for a new cemetery. I know you're discussing it tonight because I've read the agenda. Lucky me. I also know that I'm not allowed to be in the Chamber when you discuss it because I've read the agenda. Market Garden is deep-rooted, excuse the pun, in the history of the Vale of Evesham. It's been going on since the 17th century. Those allotments have been in constant use and maintained by families well in excess of 100 plus years. They are an excellent community asset. They provide mental and physical well-being for the people that use them. They are a source of integrating the community, which we are in much need of at the moment. Not only that, the excess produce that me and a lot of other users of the allotment, we give that to pensioners who can't afford fresh fruit and veg during the growing season. So we give our produce away that we maintain the allotment for. In fact, the right to dig is a part of the Evesham heritage. So I find it strange that this council will ignore its own heritage for something that's not even a legal right for burial. It's not a legal right for town council to offer burial. They can if they wish. We had a meeting at the end of August last year. I asked for a series of information at the end of the meeting. I was promised I would get that information. 6 months down the line, I've not been given the information that I requested. I've never had an update of that meeting that was at the end of August, and neither have any of the stakeholders for the allotment. As I said, I know you're discussing it tonight. I'm quite impassioned by it, so I find it strange that I've had no written communication. So therefore, because you can't respond to me in 6 months in written wise, I would like some verbal communication tonight from the council, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I must admit, I'm a little bit confused as to why that agenda item has been put into closed session. Now, if we are discussing the details of a particular contract, for example, comparing what one company to another is going to charge for something, that would be protected information. Now, putting things into closed session is actually part of statute and law. We don't get just to decide it because we don't want the public to know about it. There must be a lawful reason. And I'm just wondering why the discussion of the potential sites, the pros and cons of them, why that information and why people such as the gentleman who's come should be precluded from that. I must admit, I was aghast to hear from a member of the public that to use their words, cloak and dagger, clandestine meeting amongst 4 councillors from the planning committee had a meeting with various people regarding some allotment thing, and I felt most embarrassed as a councillor to say I had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. That's wrong, absolutely wrong. If we're talking about a personnel contract, a disciplinary matter, yes, absolutely. That's what closed session is for, not just for arbitrary decisions. And so I'm just wondering what content is there which fulfills the legal criteria, because I will be proposing, because obviously we have to vote to go into closed session, that unless we've got the specific lawful reasons, that is held in open session.
Yes, I can answer that. Now, if you look at the report which was circulated, it's the bits of key, which are the bits that are confidential. So the vast majority of it is. But when we come to talk about costs of bits of land that we may or may not be buying, that's the bit we don't really want to do in the public.
Why?
Well, because we use all our negotiating power.
Why? I'm not disagreeing with you. As you know, I'm autistic. I want to understand. I don't understand. why do we lose negotiating power? It's not like there's anybody else trying to buy this. So,
Well, we don't know that. It's, at the moment, we haven't wanted it.
I mean,
we have a valuation, we need to talk about costs, and we need to decide, what we're going to do.
well, surely you can just hold that in public session, but don't
No,
refer to the costs.
We can't, because we're trying to get that out of the public.
Well,
So, I don't really want to talk about it anymore now. Most of it, yes, it's a difficult one, because we can have to dig in and out of discussion depending on what we're actually
well, I
talking about.
suggest you keep
In
the
terms
parts
of
which
the-
don't have the pink paper in public session, and then if you want to
But
get to
certainly,
that
for
part.
example, the long bit about what the options are, for example. Now, as long as we don't start talking about costs or the rest of it, there's no particular reason why we can't look at the options. There's no reason why we can't talk about being very from Mary, doing nothing, all of those things possible just in the open.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's really what we don't want to do is give away information, talk about costs of things, or basically it's what everything essentially is private information.
It's all right, it's not about food. I've got something from a member of the public that wants me to read it out.
Hello Council, my name is Marion Fleetwood and I live in Greenhill. I'm not sure whether this is entirely within Council's remit, but it would be very interesting to know what your line is and what your point of support is. Would you rather have an arts centre that is based in the centre of the town that would add significantly to the local evening economy, or would you rather have a 1,000-seater arts centre on the edge of the town at the end of a virtually one-way Victorian street full of residents, disrupted, disturbed for 4 years during a works period, and then with a 1,000-seater worth of audience descending on us evenings, weekends, school holidays? Which would be the most preferential option of those two? In my mind, it's pretty clear that the one in the centre of town would be much more beneficial. We would use a beautiful building right in the middle of the heart of our beautiful town, and the other one would be a destination venue with people arriving, coming to the event and going away again. I appreciate this is not something necessarily that you will have a vote on or you will have any say on, but I would be really interested to know if residents of Greenhill could rely on the support of our town council when we go into discussion, when we're invited to have an opinion or discussion about what's going on our doorstep. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, if I could just comment on that, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Dr. Evans has spoken to me potentially about his thoughts, his ambitions. I'd be grateful if you could put your comments in writing to the town clerk so we have it on record. And I can say that Dr. Evans is in the process of asking for a time to come and address the council with regards to that matter, and that request has not been made. Therefore, it's not open for discussion yet. We don't know what, if you like, the nuts and bolts of it are going to be. But he has said that he is in the process of preparing it, and he will be submitting that to the town clerk, who will then discuss with me, or if it's at the end of my term of office, then with whoever succeeds me, and then it will go potentially onto a council agenda item for him to come and do a presentation as people do. Does that help you?
It does. Could you please ask Dr. Evans if it would be at all within his power and within his courtesy to speak with the residents of Greenhill instead of just speaking with people with power? Could he please talk to the residents about it before he goes any further? We've had nothing. We had a leaked photograph from a presentation that he did at a school production in front of parents. That's the only notification that anybody in Greenhill has had that anything has happened, anything is being planned.
I'll back that up.
Sorry?
I'll back that up.
Nothing. We've had nothing. So thank you very much.
If you'd like to, as I said, if you'd like to put your the quality of your observations to the town clerk. We've then got it on record.
They will be on behalf of the residents because we have a group.
Absolutely
So
fine.
it will be on behalf of many more than me.
Absolutely fine.
Thank you,
Right.
Mr. Mayor.
Just want to clarify, we were talking about an art centre in the centre of town, we're talking about the public hall.
Riverside, yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the members of the public?
I've been asked to read a
You've
statement
been
then
asked to,
on behalf.
did you say
behalf.
who or behalf
I will,
of who?
I will.
Where they're from.
I've been asked to read a statement on behalf of Sue Traynor concerning last council meeting. Some of you are going to not like this. I am writing in my capacity as part owner of the business that was attacked by Councillor Nishigaki in Emma Wright's video, My Business Artisan Nails. It has been passed on to me with no formal statement from the council that the council have accepted her apology. I can't understand how this can have happened with no consultation to the people affected. My business partner was explicitly mentioned in the videos and she too has heard nothing. Please can you ask the councillors why they took it upon themselves to accept an apology that the district council instructed you to get on our behalf. Accept what was said in the council meeting, particularly as no one was allowed to comment or speak at the time. Thank you. I am the messenger, please.
As it was a message that you've been asked to read, we'll ask you to pass that to the town clerk.
I think the clerk has had an email
It
concerning that.
will be taken further from them. There will be no further discussion tonight. It
Okay.
will be dealt with. That the point has been raised.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
and it gets taken from.
Just needed it in council records.
Thank you. Any further questions from members of the public? Okay, thank you. And now move on to our colleagues from the police who are going to give us a brief report, update on matters that have been going on in and around the town.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know, I don't get that many of you, so apologies. My name is Luke Steele. I'm one of the PCSOs for the Town Safe and Over team in Evesham. It'll be very quick, it'll just be a few minutes, just to let you know about what we've been doing and what's been going on. The Town Centre team so far this year has made 4 arrests and has got 12 detections, which is either a charge or out of court disposal, and a positive result essentially for shoplifting offences and some drug offences. A number of stop searches have been carried out within the town area for similar reasons. The team is working on, I believe, currently 2 court orders for one of those sort of prolific offenders for shoplifting and also ASB. The team as a whole, you will see us in your constituencies doing surveys. It will take a very long time, but the idea is that we'll do a survey on neighbourhood matters with every single home within our area, so within Evesham, about how they feel safety-wise, what the issues that they have in their area, so the big priorities they think we should be focusing on, and that way we can sort of see in different areas what priorities people want us to take on board. We've also been working on an app called DISC on behalf of the Evesham Business Crime Reduction Partnership, bit of a long one. And that is essentially a way for businesses within Evesham to communicate with each other and us for things like suspicious people, shop thefts, a way for people to understand who they should be looking out for, who they might need to deter as soon as they walk in, that sort of thing. So we were going around to different businesses, and then just to raise a point that we're aware of it, there's a big issue at the moment both in Hampton and the Benworth area with motorbikes being ridden onto fields, on pavements, on roads without, I'm going to assume, insurance, tax, MOT, things like that. So we are aware of it, we are trying to tackle it. It'll probably take a little bit of time to properly get them, but we are working on it and we are aware. If anyone has any questions, then I'd want some.
Can I ask you one update on the mugging on Waterside?
Which
The lady who was mugged and had her phone taken off.
Contact that. Do you know what date it was?
It was Tuesday. Was it last week or the week before?
Okay.
You said the incident happened at 8:50 when it happened at 8:30.
Okay.
It took me 20 minutes to get there, so can you tell me please why you didn't say 8:30?
So I'm not entirely knowledgeable on it. If I can get your details afterwards, or if I can.
As again, a female,
Mhm.
this happened in not even the middle of the week,
Mhm.
at 8:30 walking on Waterside.
Mhm.
I mean, what hope have a lot of us got when you've got people like that wandering around mugging people?
Yeah, we are aware of, I mean, in general, people not feeling so safe in that sort of area. We are trying to be more proactive. I'm definitely there most days. My team are definitely there most days, patrolling the area. If you tell me, what date was it? Sorry, the 16th?
No, it was
Sorry.
It was
Tuesday.
Tuesday 2 weeks ago.
3rd, I think it was.
Yeah.
3rd
Third.
of February or the 4th.
Okay. And on Waterside.
Yes, near strollers.
Okay, well what I'll do is I'll go back, I'll find out for you, and I can let the council know, or the particular email.
Is it possible you can let the public know? Right? Because things like that happening,
Mhm.
we need to see action from the police that you're doing something.
Mhm.
Right? Because at the moment, the reason we know about this is
Yeah.
my son was there.
Okay.
Right? He was the chap who threw the bloke on the floor.
Mhm.
All right? And took the phone back off him and gave it to the young lady.
Yeah.
Now, we know that the police was run at 8:30. You didn't turn up
Okay.
for 20 minutes. That concerns me. Now, what you also need to do is when you're arresting these people, there needs to be notifications telling people what you're doing,
Mhm.
right, to make us feel safer. Because at the moment, silence is not making these ladies feel safe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, what I'll do is I'll speak to some of the supervision about that possibly being
No, I did say
brought
that.
into place.
They know anyway. It's online.
Yes, I have 2 points. There was an incident before Christmas in which I was involved with the town clerk, and we felt at the time that contact with the police was difficult on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
Could I ask the town clerk to comment on that and whether she feels that relationship has improved?
Well, I mean, we still have limited contact with the police. I mean, it's very useful when you're here, to be honest. I think that really helps,
Yeah.
to be honest, just to give us an update on
Yeah.
just the sort of things that we do on a day-to-day basis, the issues that you're tackling, because like John said, without that feedback, there's just an assumption that there's nothing. And actually,
Sure.
you come and say, well, actually, we are. We've used this, and we know about this, and that's really helpful.
Okay.
So, I mean, in terms of communicating with police officers, yeah, I mean, I do have the email address of some of them.
Yes.
But in general, one-on-one is not particularly responsive. There's not a lot of feedback for a lot of things, and sometimes we
Yes.
ask about feedback. And when we were chatting to the policeman, we appreciate that we're not going to get feedback on some things, but it would be quite good to get some feedback if possible, just to know that you
Yeah.
spoke to somebody and all that.
So is that felt as a council, or are you
Yes.
speaking
Yeah.
about?
No, it was just to the town clerk.
Okay.
The town clerk will pass it on to us.
Okay.
And
So,
she's the contact with the town
yes.
and the concerns from the town. We had concerns, I was involved, she asked me. And we don't know what's happened there, we don't know how it's progressed. And it seemed to be a rather long-winded solution to even get anything started on it.
Okay.
And this was because I was involved as
Yes,
well.
you were, Stan.
And the details which were reported to us were basically horrifying.
Yeah.
It's accusations of all sorts of serious crimes,
Yes.
including threats to life.
Okay.
And it's into the void now with the police,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is not comforting.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, could it be possible if I email you for more details about that, and we can see if
Yeah,
that
that's
can
fine.
be?
I mean, we know that you can't come along with that often, but even just a little update by email.
Yeah, no,
I'd
I'd be happy to.
Can we just, we've just simply say that Luke has come here tonight to give an update on things. Yes, this is a very, very serious matter, and yes, it will be followed up on, but we've got to be conscious of time tonight, and I've got people who have indicated they want to speak, but others are speaking ahead of it. Matt.
Okay, I promise I'll be quick.
I
I recently spoke to your sergeant about when I'd been visited residents in my ward in Charity Brook, that they were concerned about the policing, and he mentioned that there had been no reports. So I've been round and tried to hopefully generate some data. I was just wondering if you've actually had any more significant increase in the number of
Not that I'm aware of, although I'm happy to go and research that and I can get back to you. I assume I'll be able to find your email on the website. And I'll, so Charity Brook specifically.
Charity Brook and around
That's
Charity
what
Crest.
area.
Does it?
So, you were next.
Alright, cheers. Yeah, just to sort of echo what people said, communication is important, but I do understand that why we don't hear everything. I would much rather you were out there doing your job of crime fighting than sending an email or a text or phoning loads of councillors up to say, look at what we've done. And Neighbourhood Matters is a great resource. That does say a lot. It gives really good updates. You mentioned somebody riding a motorbike on the pavements. I've seen it twice, and I haven't reported it because there's no licence plate, no identifying clothing or helmet, completely helmetless. What information do you need from us in order to log it and pursue it?
I mean, I would, as soon as you see something like that, call us anyway. The best you can do is a description of the person, where they might have come from, if you've seen them come out of a specific road, or you see them going to a specific road. It just helps us kind of close down the area until we find who they are. So yeah, just any detail you do have, please do report it, because it also helps us know that it's still ongoing and still happening in these places.
And it's like a motocrossy dirt bike sort of thing.
That sounds like the wise.
Is it repeating something you already said?
No, it's
or
not.
is it something
I wouldn't
new?
do that, John. The second point, I managed to successfully report.
Susan, could you just keep control on the way you're speaking? I was polite to you. I was just asking you if it was connected or something new. Right, I don't expect you to shut down that.
No, it didn't, because I made from the start, I said there were two separate points at the start. Second point, I managed to report successfully Operation Snap again last week, driving the wrong way down Bridge Street.
Right.
Now, I don't know, I believe you don't get those reports, so you have no idea of their frequency. I didn't manage to report the 3 blokes on motorbikes at great speed going down there. But I was successful. But can I ask, I know the Police and Crime Commissioner, I think, is looking at the lack of contact with Operation Snap and yourselves. I hope that's progressing. And I'm aware that Dorset, Dorset I think, Council, and now have a database of prosecuted offences that have been reported to their Operation Snap, and that should be rolled out in West Mercia.
Okay, that's certainly something I can look into and pass on to supervisors.
Could you read it out? Sorry, I'm just stand up a minute.
Well, I just wanted to make the point that I think all councillors should be trying to encourage residents to use Neighbourhood Matters, because that will help them keep abreast of what is going on around the town.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to say that there is CCTV all over the town. It's housed at Wychavon, so you could get all sorts of information there. If you knew about the date and the time, for example, you could see what's occurring.
In regards to the bike specifically, or in
well,
general?
anything that's going wrong.
Yeah, we do use the CCTV a lot.
Yeah, that's ideal for it.
Yeah, we use it a lot.
Last point, please.
There are actually neighbours on Pewitt Road who have video footage of the bikes sent to you, and you still haven't done anything. You haven't even
No, I'm aware of the videos, absolutely. Yeah, they unfortunately we don't know who they are off them.
Okay, on that, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
For your
name's PCSO Luke Harris. I'm one of the other PCSO for Evesham Town Centre. I recognise a few of the faces in this room as people that I see on a daily basis working within the community. It's nice to see councillors that actually get stuck in and have their own boots on the ground. In relation to the matter that was raised by Councillor Campbell-Muir, that is quite a violent crime that's occurred there. And the reason that myself and my colleague don't have an update for you is that that's not within our remit. We are the Safer Neighbourhood team. So if I can reassure the town here, just because we don't know anything about it doesn't mean that the police themselves aren't working on it and wouldn't have an update for you. I'm sure the officer in case would have all the information that you've requested tonight, but because it is an ongoing case, we can't discuss it. We're also...
I mean, there is certain matters to put people's minds at rest, even to say two people have been arrested.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? What it does is it settles up people, you know, that the police are there for us. You know what I mean? That the ladies can walk around the town without that worry. But when we don't hear anything, it always puts that doubt.
I will speak to both my sergeant and the response sergeant that in the event that we have a crime that we think would upset members of the public, that we can speak with our media team to put
I say especially against
an
women.
update out. We do that.
Yeah. I know you do, and you do it very well, but on this case there was a lot of concern around the town and nobody was hearing anything.
I'll make an inquiry about
Thank you very much.
In regards to contacting members of the Safer Neighbourhood team, I have handed out my business card to members in this room. I can do that again. If any of the councillors have my email address, I'm happy for that to be shared. And if councillors and their constituents do wish to have further information, updates and communication with the police, we do put updates out on the Evesham Police Facebook page, and as always, Neighbourhood Matters was mentioned by the councillor. Is a fantastic source of information. We do urge that members of the community do sign up to that. They'll get daily updates from us.
Final comment I'm going to make is that a scheme that was set up last year where the councillors wanted to have the police, ward members and others having a community walkabout in their ward where the police will come with us, they'll identify hotspots, etc. We've had some, they've been very successful. All you need to do, please, is just to contact me direct and just obviously say who you are, your ward, and give me 2 or 3 options, date options. I can then, I've got the liaison contact that I'm doing it with, and that can be put into place. Right? And it's a communication between us as a council and the police and the community, and we'd like to see us out and about. On that, I'm going to call this item to an end. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be put back on foot patrol now, so straight out. Thank you.
I move on now to declarations for pecuniary or other interest in accordance with the Town Council's code of conduct, including requests for dispensation. My apologies. Apologies for absence.
We've had apologies from Councillor Stokes, Councillor Goode, Councillor Mr Haynes, Councillor Mrs Haynes and Councillor Griffiths.
I'll go back now to the agenda item that I announced just now. Any declarations of pecuniary or other interests?
I may have one around the sill.
Okay.
I have a professional interest in item 12.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Any other declarations? Seeing no more. Thank you. Announcements by myself. I'm going to keep this short because of the agenda item and more important matters. Just for your interest, the mayoress and I have now gone through 3 figures. Since we took up our appointments, we've now attended 104 events of varying sorts, whether it be a coffee morning, ask to open in premises, civic function, or whatever. and we've met a lot of people, and they are reciprocating coming here, and they do have a lot of good complimentary things to say about the town. Last week, a request from the Lord Lieutenant of Worcestershire, Beatrice Grant, came and visited. She asked me if she could come and visit and meet people, representatives of my mayor's charities. That's why it was a quiet event, and it was a very, very short period of time. There wouldn't be a great deal of time, but she was very impressed with what she saw, the work that our charities are doing, and she was very complimentary to not only the town but also the work that we do. A couple of quick announcements. On the 26th of this month, which is the Thursday, there will be the second public meeting dealing with updates of the unitary aspect, and I've got speakers coming, and unlike last time where there was 1 week there was the ideology of unitary, what it is, how it is, why it is, and everything, followed a week later by assets and everything, both of which suffered under incredible weather conditions, but they still went ahead and there was still good value from it. This time on the 26th, we're going to combine the two. The town hall is booked, and so are the speakers, so it will be an update on unity, whatever that might be, or whatever information is coming from London, and also then potential assets. Bearing in mind the town might like things brought to the town, but there's no guarantee. And of course, anything assets-wise ultimately is going to cost. So they are important meetings and time for the community to get together in a public place, like the town hall, and they can listen to the Watling House with the information that we have, although of course we've still got a lot of information we're still waiting for. That will be at 7 o'clock, but notification will go out to you. Okay. Can I remind you that my final fundraising quiz night is being held at the Benchworth Social Club on Saturday the 7th of March, and you will all be welcome, and there are flyers around and about the town, and I believe it's been put out on social media by people who very kindly helped me. And just to give you advance notice, because we're coming into what you might call the season of mayors around the area holding their civic services, just give you advance notice that civic service for me is for the 19th of April at All Saints Church, and details will follow. That's all I've got to say. Are there any questions from anybody for me? I see nothing. Thank you very much. We'll move on now. I would normally do updates for the district and county councillors. Dan, you might want to say something from county. Apologies that I didn't contact you before. There's a lot going on, as people do. There's not a great deal from district because a lot of it is centred around various contracts that are still in the final stages, and we've been told that we can't say anything. So we leave it at that at this moment, and hopefully there'll be more to say at next month's council.
Yeah, I can do a quick one. So the full budget is due to be debated on the 26th of Feb. You might have seen we've applied for a 10% council tax rise. That doesn't mean that we will use the full 10%. It does give us the option. If we don't get this budget through, then it will mean a Section 114, which effectively is bankruptcy, which will mean the government sending in their own civil servants and imposing 3 years of 10% council tax rises, which we don't want. We've had to make some really hard decisions with this budget, so hopefully it will pass with the support of the other councillors. And I think this is mainly for the public, but also councillors as well. I think people forget that us councillors actually live in Worcestershire as well, and when we're discussing council tax rises, we're actually charging ourselves more money. It's going to, if, based on 10% for easy maths, it would cost me and my immediate family an extra £1,200 a year, so it's not an easy decision to make. One thing that I do want to put on record is, as of Friday the 13th of February, we've had no official correspondence from Wychavon about their funding of the bollards. It does seem like it was headline grabbing and to make a big announcement, yet there's been a month since that, and we've had no official correspondence. So I'd really appreciate it if district councils can maybe chase that up. We do have a unitary survey out, so if you go onto a website, rebrand.ly/unitary, you can have your say there. And there's still a few places left on the first aid event that is taking place all day on the 7th of March in 2-hour slots. You can get more information on that at rebrand.ly/WCC first aid. Yeah, the other stuff could be for another time.
Good, thank you. Any questions for the representative of the County Council?
What's the first address that we gave out?
Rebrand.ly. Rebrand.ly. That's just a short code. /unitary. And then it's the same, but /WCC first aid for the first aid.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thanks. Turning now to item 5, class reports.
So Councillor Schofield and I had a meeting with Kate Statham of Historic England regarding a grant for the town hall restoration. She recommended an application to their capital fund. It's expected to open in April, and funding decisions arrive usually in July. They run it before. We don't know what the exact terms of the grant are going to be, but they haven't been released yet. But if we do an application, it will be broader in scope than work that we currently plan. So we'll apply to do, hopefully, the clock tower, other bits and pieces. So,
what sort of money are we talking?
I don't know.
You don't?
There's two funds. You can either apply for under 500,000 or over 500,000.
Right.
Slightly different. So we'll find out what the exact terms and conditions are in April. In the meantime, she's going to arrange for the building to be added to the Heritage at Risk Register. So this is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing, but it's a good thing in terms of maybe being a bit more likely to get a grant. So at the moment we're still in the rounds of charging PJK for work. So additional surveys that she's recommended that we get will be recharged on. And we're also instructed on cleaning gutters out, which is our responsibility. So we will also be sending that bill to them as well. Still on the town hall, we've got the fire alarm upgrade. That's going to be upgraded to what's called L2, and that's contractors are coming tomorrow. Do that, will take the rest of the week. The Hampton Cemetery water leak, contractors started this week to install new pipes, and this will probably also take all week.
Sorry, Joe, I couldn't think.
This is Hampton Cemetery water leak.
Yes, I couldn't hear what happened.
We've instructed, and they're going in this week. In fact, they started today.
Yeah.
Outdoors, we've planted over £3,000 worth of plants. So 70% funded by Natural Networks, and the project was organised by Council Tucker and the Town Plan. With regards to the Orrery, we've got a kick-off meeting for the Orrery start later this week, with a planned commencement date in March. That's the end of my report, unless anyone's got any questions.
I'd be able to say, as part of your submissions to Historic England, if you want any information about the history of the town hall, give me a shout. There's normally a statement of significance.
I sure will.
Please do.
Any further questions for Town Clerk? Okay, thank you. Reports from outside bodies. There's one that I normally just leave open for any of our representatives of the outside bodies. If they've got any updates to give verbally, we don't normally ask for written reports. Does anybody who represents on an outside body have anything to say?
Just a quick one. The working council team were back out 2 weeks ago. We did a little bit of painting more. I think we're going to be back out again soon. Any councillor is welcome to join us and join the working team.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. Move on now to minutes of the previous meeting. Sorry. Oh, is this a question?
Let's come up for minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm just going on to that now. You've all had copies of the minutes. I've read through them. I personally can't see anything to raise. Does anybody have anything to raise? Yes.
Yeah, just a couple of questions regarding them. See, I missed the last meeting, so I could be way off the market. It was reported in local press that a decision had been taken about receiving the freehold of the town hall from Wychavon. Did that take place in the last council meeting? Because I can't see any reference to it in the minutes.
No. This was just announced in the paper. We haven't heard anything about council.
But it did say that the council had taken a vote to accept. In the press release, there was a thing which said that the council had voted, and there was also comment from Mark Googe saying about how the money from the Valkyrie would support it all and so on and so forth. So my query is, and it's not a criticism in any way, shape or form, I'm just curious in that I've read something in the local press, but I've not seen anything in the paper to substantiate that.
Well, all I would say personally is, I don't dispute what you're saying. I haven't personally seen it, but then sometimes I'll go to get a paper, especially the Observer. There's limited copies here, there and everywhere, and they're usually all gone by the time I get there. I don't know which publication it might have been, but
It was the Observer.
I can't say there would have been anything about the town hall because Wychavon are still in the final throes of the negotiations and contract signing.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, I've seen it. It was online as well.
Yes.
Okay, is this about a press release about us accepting this
Yeah.
agenda?
So it wasn't about, I think, we've had
Sorry, I can't cope with 6 voices.
District have voted on it, Emma, but not us.
So I want to hear what John said, but I've got 6 voices.
District have voted on it, but not town.
Well,
this is what Andrew's saying. District have made a vote to pass it over to us. We haven't accepted it yet. We haven't been given the option to accept it yet.
Accepted it last meeting.
Did we?
Yeah, Monday before January.
I don't remember voting on that.
It's resolved to accept the surrender of the lease, subject to successful negotiations between PJK, Investments and Wychavon District Council, and to resume full control and responsibility of the town hall.
I don't remember it, if I'm honest.
Subject to...
Mr Mayor, I've got the answer to my own question has been pointed out here. It was actually subject of the meeting on the 26th of January rather than the 12th of January, and that's why I hadn't seen it. But that also makes me, it sounds a little bit curious if some people here are not realising that the council has voted to accept something which, and it's no criticism of yourself, sir, Mr Mayor, I have got grave concerns that a decision of such enormity, i.e. potentially taking on a liability of over £500,000 by saying, oh well, we'll be all right because we'll get the income from the Valkyrie. Has anybody read recently what's happened to pub trades and things like that? We lose that. I just think that it's such a grave decision that professional advice needs to be sought over that. I know that before any contracts are signed, I just wanted to make comment on that, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe, and I apologise if I'm incorrect in here, that we've got anybody on this council qualified to make a decision upon us accepting something which is potentially going to cost us over £500,000, something which has been said needs in excess of £600,000, I think $1 million all in all, and they're going to contribute £160,000. Great, that's your £160,000, where are we going to get the remaining 800? So that was my first comment, thank you. But the next one is, I do have to point out, because it's something which is in writing and is factually, it's repeating something which is actually factually untrue. So it is in the part here of 208B, the consideration of my apology for breaches of the Code of Conduct. I think a lot of people completely misunderstand the fact that there is no provision for a council to accept an apology. If you don't accept an apology, it doesn't mean that another one has to be made. But it's the specific comment which Councillor Stokes has put here, where she says that I said the names of people whose names have been redacted. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. Not against this council per se. The majority of things in that report are a data breach. They were from a confidential recorded meeting which has now been deleted. A redacted version was sent to our council. The clerk then sent out another version. Now, whether or not she should have done that, I'm not going to comment about here and there, because that is also subject to legal investigation. An unredacted form of that was sent around to all councillors and to the newspapers, who quoted that the people concerned had withdrawn or given their right to anonymity, and that it should all be done, you know, and everything should be said. And the lady of Stevenson, in fact, spoke directly in her own name to the Observer newspaper. So for her to then say, and it be recorded on official minutes, that I had released the names of identities that had been redacted in the investigation report, that's not true. They were not redacted in the information report. They were redacted in the copy that was initially circulated, or an unredacted version was sent around to councillors. The one that was then put in the public domain, instead of it being redacted, was unredacted. I wasn't consulted. That's my personal data as well, right? I wasn't consulted, and I should have been consulted before that happened. However, like the rest of this council, I want to move on from this matter. But I will say here and now, and I would like a note of this put on there, that be struck out from those minutes, that comment that is made by Councillor Stokes, or a correction is put, because I did not, absolutely did not. The only names which I used, having looked at the thing, was in fact people who had never made a complaint and who weren't mentioned in it, which was Councillors Campbell-Muir and Councillors Hemming. And the only other people, a business name was mentioned, because I was told that that was something I had to do. And the only other name, individual name, which was mentioned was Ms. Stevenson, who had already foregone her right to anonymity by going to the newspaper in person and having several stories which were factually incorrect. So I absolutely refute that there, that when I made my apology some months later, I'd exposed those. And I would strongly ask this council, in order to put that to bed, that you accept, you know, you all saw those emails, you all know that it was put out on the front page of the paper, and that lady had got her name there. For Sir Councillor Stokes to rewrite history, which unfortunately she does have quite a habit of doing it, that be struck out. I would be most grateful if the council would actually do things properly on this, this particular matter.
Agreeing with Emma, I wasn't asked at all, Emma. My name was plastered all over this report. You know, but everybody else got anonymity but me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I find it disgraceful that I wasn't offered anonymity, and that obviously the complaint was against yourself and you couldn't have had that anonymity with
Yes,
it.
you can.
I don't know
Yes,
how the
you
rules
can.
work, but I wasn't asked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel, you know, in matters of this severe,
Yeah.
everybody should be given that opportunity of anonymity.
The fact that Wychavon violated our rights does not give the Evesham Town Council the right to then do it, and obviously the legal advice that I'm giving, actually, I don't know whether I am going to pursue it, is that of libel, because things have been printed and put in the public domain and put on the website, which are data breaches. Now, I've just wanted to move on from it, but when I read that, no, and again, the thing that was read out, how long does it? I'm not going anywhere. Right? What is it? What's the end game? What do these people want? Okay, because we can carry this on in every single meeting. I've not spoken about this in a meeting before, but we can continue to bring it up in every single meeting and continue to make ourselves a laughing stock. I will not accept, as I've said there, I didn't accept the breaches. No, I don't. I'm not ever going to accept something which didn't happen. But the things which did happen, I did apologise for. I'm not going to do anything else or anything different. So I really ask that this is finally put to bed. I know that that's what the Mayor wants.
I don't think this was about your apology, Emma. I think people have accepted the fact of your apology. What was procedure? And I think you would jump on this if it was me in the position. What happened is the victims of this were not...
Can we not use the word victim?
Well, the people that were involved in this were not informed or asked about the outcome. That is what the outrage is. Now, if I'd have been in the person in that seat and the people I'd attacked hadn't been informed or anything like that, every single member of this council would be on my back. Right?
I disagree.
It's not about you. This is not about you. You've given your apology, and that's been accepted by council. There's nothing more that can happen about it. I'm just explaining the people's rights that you as a council are asked to do. Hang on, you as a council are asked to do something on their behalf, and you don't do it. There are comebacks. Because members of the public are going to come in here and ask questions why you didn't do it. 11 of you on this had no right to vote to accept an apology that they hadn't accepted. That's what I want to get across, and in the minutes. Done. Done.
Interrupt me again, the door is there.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, I'm
Don't
done.
point your finger at me, please. What I was saying, we've heard from what you said, and it's entirely up to you where you want to go with this. I did state at the last meeting when the vote was taken that as far as I was concerned in my position, that is it, the line is drawn. This council has important community business to get on with, and that is what it will do. What I'm now doing is I'm going to ask for a vote whether the minutes are accepted or not. Those in favour of accepting the minutes as written, please show.
You need a second.
Okay, second. Those in favour of accepting the minutes as shown. Those against? Any abstentions? Emily, you can't vote twice.
Oh. Done in London school.
Okay, I'll move on to the next agenda item, committee minutes. My apologies, yes, we also now have to go through the extraordinary meeting of Evesham Town Council on Monday the 26th of January. Again, you will have had copies of this.
I accept. I'd make a motion to accept. Oppose it.
Okay. We have a second.
Mike Aaron.
Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.
I don't know.
Now we move on to committee minutes. First one I've got in front of me is the Town Plan Committee meeting held on Monday the 19th of January. Robert.
Yes, I'd like to propose these minutes for an accurate record, please.
Thank you. Seconded by Mark. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? 5 abstentions. Thank you. The next one I have minutes of the meeting of the Planning Committee held on Monday the 26th of January. Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I commend these to council as true and accurate.
Thank you. There was a second. And those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? 1, 2 abstentions. Okay. We now move on to agenda item 9, the election of Mayor-elect and Deputy Mayor-elect for the civic year 2026-27. First of all, we'll deal with the election of the Mayor-elect, and I understand from the Town Clerk we have one nomination received by the closing date. Are there any other nominations? There are nominations. Okay. As I say from the chair, I nominated the Deputy Mayor, Bill Kimberley, to be Mayor. That was seconded by Lord Raphael. Lord, are you still seconded?
Yes.
Okay, Bill, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you.
Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? One abstention. Congratulations, you are Mayor-elect for 2006.
I'm not supposed to do a speech or anything, but I just like to...
Okay, done then.
Thank you. Thank you for that vote of confidence. It's overwhelming.
Okay, I'll move on now to Deputy Mayor-elect. Again, we have one nomination, that is Councillor Peter Scurfield, nominated by Councillor Anne Lyon, seconded by myself. Are there any other nominations? In that case, Anne, do you propose?
I do.
And I accept the second. Peter, do you accept the nomination?
If I say
Say
no,
no.
I get
You say no, the door's there. Okay, those in favour? Anybody against? Congratulations, you are Deputy Mayor. I'm now moving item 13, licence to operate Evesham Charter Market, up next. And for this, we should go into private session because there are pounds and pence, as in figures involved and big papers. But I propose for the chair we move into private session. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Thank you, John. We are now in private session.
Now we've got to vote. Got a vote, mate. Got a vote.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Those in favour?
building with absolutely not a member on it with any idea about anything to do with employment law and personal law, and yet that committee is devolved to decide on a policy. And as we all know, we're still in confidential session, I assume it. Is it being recorded? Okay. I'll temper what I say. So the council is now in a situation where we could find ourselves in trouble over an employment issue. I'm saying we will. We could find ourselves. And that will be the case potentially because employment laws have not been followed. Okay. Now, ergo, if we are making new policies, I was also concerned that there is no neurodivergency policy there, which most places are having, and I think that should be on there. You should have a policy on neurodivergency. And just to finish off, before we say that, as John was saying that, just to say, on my neurodivergence, I find it, I don't make specific requests of people. I find it really, really difficult. Not so much when people sort of shout out, although I did find that, and it was both ways. I'm not blaming one or the other. They were both equally doing it. But when John, for example, is speaking, or Joe is speaking, or anybody else is speaking, and there's a conversation going on, and I'm not pointing to anybody specifically because the whole of the room can be responsible for it. I can't cope, and the reason why I can't cope is my brain doesn't filter out one noise from another, which means, if you all remember when Emma Stokes wouldn't repeat something for me, sometimes I can't understand it because somebody else has spoken. And I just ask councillors to be mindful of that, that when, Rob was having a chat with Celia, even though it wasn't particularly loud and it may not have disturbed anybody else in the room, I don't think it's unreasonable for the Mayor's request to be followed, that only one person speaks at a time. And it is a disability. I'm happy to show anybody my full NHS diagnosis. I know there are councillors who aren't here tonight who have said that it's not true. I know there's an officer here tonight who has said to people that it's not true. There's a councillor, but it is, and I'm happy to show it to anybody. It's been very difficult for me tonight because of the amount of peripheral conversation going on.
Okay, your point's been made.
Thank you.
Okay, I declare the meeting closed at
Excuse me, sorry, John. What's happened to the SIL consultation? Because that runs out on the 2nd of March, so we can't bring it to the next meeting.
Oh, this is the new road houses. What I suggest we do is we wrap up the council policy on
I'd said that, but if people want to pull properties, they can take it.
Well, yes, but we need to vote on the proposal which is in the report, which is about Councillor Rebecca has not supported the proposal, but no one else. The council policies.
I'm quite happy for the policies all to be dealt with at another meeting. I just wanted to make that point, that I think it's fundamentally wrong that the formation of our core council policies, which affect every single councillor, bearing in mind that committees change every 4 years, that is devolved, because to me that is not what committees are for, and I think that we've had a creep towards decisions being made by a very small group of people, particularly if you have a planning committee where a lot of people don't attend and you end up where you're just minimally quorate and the massive decisions are being made.
On Emma's comment there, don't forget, any council member can sit in on a committee.
But they can't vote.
They can speak.
Only if they're allowed to speak.
Yeah, well, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. They can sit in a meeting and they can speak. They can't vote. But what you're saying, I accept what you're saying, some of it, but there's no reason why you can't just join in a committee, go to committee. So, sorry.
So why, what's the point in
sorry.
involving it?
Sorry, if you want to go to any committee, whether it's convenient for you or not, you are still allowed to go and have your say.
No,
End subject.
but we could, it's not the end of the subject, Bill, I'm
Yes, it
sorry,
is.
it's not. Because you're only allowed to speak if the chair says no, you're not speaking, you can't speak.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And
I can't understand why anybody's not speaking.
well, you may say
You may
that
say tonight.
because you're not me. I've had situations where I've not been allowed to speak. I've had mayors where they've not allowed me speaking.
I will allow you to speak next year, don't you?
Are you chairing every meeting then?
Yes.
What? All planning, personnel, the lot?
Yeah, I should be at every meeting, I should make a request that you be able to speak. There you go.
But I won't be able to vote.
Oh, now,
No, that's right.
can we stop, please? Some people have very kindly stayed on. We need to get this concluded. So agenda item 15, regarding the policies, the council is asked to confirm the proposed arrangements for review of policies as shown in your pack. If you want a copy of all of the policies, Town Clerk has said that they can be put together for you, and you have a folder that you will need to email or ask, because otherwise it's just going to be duplicated paper after paper after paper, and there'll be another 10 trees that will get sacrificed, all right, just to be pushed in a cupboard or thrown away or whatever. So if you want a copy of the policies, you just simply have to ask them. But the council is asked to confirm the proposed arrangements for review of policies. I will propose that from the chair. Do I have a second? Thank you. Bill.
Sorry.
And those in favour?
I'm not quite sure what it is we're voting on.
That's about the park.
Those against? Any abstentions?
Mr. Chairman, on those, could we ask that they're put in one pack online? So
That's a good idea.
we go to a policies folder and then choose which one we want to look at, so it's easy to find. Does that make an idea?
Joe, could I ask you, when you send that, as well as doing it to the SharePoint, could you do it as a standard PDF? The reason for that, I know there's a lot of councillors, like Chrissy has said, that on their phones and stuff, they have real trouble accessing the SharePoint, and not everybody's got a computer, and I'm not sure, I might have got this wrong, but I think it might have been John or Sharon, I'm not sure, said that they had a bit of issue with SharePoint.
I have trouble with my phone. And I don't write on computer.
So would it be possible just to have a PDF?
We'll have it in any way that you like, because it's important you see them. So I don't want to make it difficult for everybody. So yeah, if everyone wants paper copy, or you can have the or email me. If you want a link, we can put them online. We can publish on the website. You know, we basically make them as
It's not just nothing to do with the meeting, but sorry, can I ask who Ross is? Because I wasn't here at the last meeting and I've been getting.
He's working in our office.
He.
Working in our office.
Okay, so is he? He's a new recruit.
Yeah, he's temporary.
Oh, he's temporary. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out of the loop. So is somebody poorly? Kerry, I'm assuming.
No, he's just temporary until we recruit
to replace Keeley. So you've got Kerry. Wasn't Kerry Keeley's replacement?
No, Kerry was Julie.
Okay. I just no, I'm not criticising. I'm just wanting to understand because I know that we had Stuart, Keeley, and Farrell.
Could you ask these questions outside of the meeting?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was finished.
No.
No.
No, we're still waiting.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, we've got item 14 to do.
You've got more to do. Or we're still
Oh, I thought
sitting
we've
down.
just done 15. Have we done 15?
Yes. It's made clear before.
Oh yes.
So it might be made clear to you, Stan, that the neurodetention sometimes, when it comes to a 15, it's not unreasonable for me to think it was dealt with for. It might be clear to you, it's not clear to me.
Okay, agenda item 14 is this the SIL charging schedule. which is the community infrastructure at Neville. In your pack, as you've read it, the council is asked if it supports the proposals in the revised CIL charging schedule. I will propose it. Do I have a second? Thank you, Dr. Mayor. Those in favour?
Yeah.
No.
Those against? Any abstentions? Thank you. Yes, it's been a long time. A lot of people have said a lot of things. There's been some bad tempers. If I failed you, then I take that on the shoulder and you can complain to me if you wish. Okay, I declare the meeting closed at 9:30.
I didn't fail me, John.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.